Hello my dear students, welcome to the new video of our YouTube channel Lessons Put. So today in this video we are going to see some of the previous year questions which has been asked from the chapter Chemical Reactions and Equations. So if you are new to our channel, please subscribe to our channel, and if you find this video useful, share it with your class 10 friends also. So let's get started. So as you can see the first question. So first question is two equations are given here. So the question which is asked is which of the following options clearly describes both the reactions. So you can see first reaction, that is AgNO3, silver nitrate we are taking, NaCl is there, the product formed is NaNO3 plus AgCl. That is what happens here, a double displacement reaction is taking place, right? That is Na will be displacing Ag and Ag will be going in the place of Na. So what is the product that we are getting? NaNO3 plus AgCl. Same way, if we see the second reaction, K2SO4 plus BaCl2 gives BaSO4 plus 2KCl. So here also exchange of ions is taking place, right? Barium is going towards sulfate and potassium is coming towards chlorine, right? So the correct option for this reaction of this question can be, so option A is a double displacement reaction, is a displacement reaction. Option B, both 1 and 2 are displacement reaction and precipitation reaction. Option C, both 1 and 2 are double displacement reaction and precipitation reaction. Option D, one is displacement and second one is double displacement. So it is very clear from the equation itself that exchange of ions is taking place in both of these cases, right? So the correct option for this question is both 1 and 2 are double displacement reaction and also precipitation reaction. Why? Because in the previous videos we have seen that a double displacement reaction can also be called as a precipitation reaction since there is a formation of precipitate. So our correct option is option C, both 1 and 2 are double displacement reaction and precipitation reaction. Hope this question is clear to everyone. Let's move to the second question. So the question is, the gas evolved on heating led to nitrate crystal. So the question is, which gases evolved when lead nitrate crystals are heated? Okay, so lead nitrate, PbNO3 twice. So this is lead nitrate. So once the lead nitrate crystals are heated, what happens? So lead nitrate will be changing its color to yellow, right? So it is due to the formation of what? Lead iodide, PbO, plus we can see the formation of a brown fumes, right? So that brown fumes is due to the liberation of which gas? It is due to the liberation of NO2, nitrogen dioxide gas, and also which gas is liberated? Oxygen gas is also liberated, right? So all these equations are being discussed and it is there in our previous videos. So if you have not watched that videos, go watch that videos. You will get a clear idea about all the reactions and activities which is being discussed in your textbook. Okay, so as you can see, lead nitrate, which is white in color, when it is heated, it will be producing lead oxide, which is yellow in color. Along with that, NO2 and oxygen gas is liberated. So the correct option for this question is NO2 as well as oxygen gas is liberated. That is option number D. Hope this question is also clear to you. So if you have any doubt regarding any of the question which is being discussed in this video, please drop your doubt in the comment box. I am very free to answer your doubts. So let's move to the next question. Name the substance oxidized and reduced in the following reaction. So oxidation reduction video is also been uploaded in our channel. So everything has been uploaded. So if you are feeling any difficulty in understanding any of the topic, do watch that video. So the equation which is given to us is this one, right? Zinc oxide is reacting with carbon and it is forming what? Zinc plus carbon monoxide, right? So first thing that you have to see here is which are the reactants. So we know reactants are zinc oxide and carbon, right? Now you just write it down, zinc oxide. So first we can see zinc oxide. So the reactant is zinc oxide. This reactant, that is zinc oxide, is getting converted to what in the product? It is getting converted to zinc, right? Zinc oxide is getting converted to zinc. Okay, so now next reactant is carbon, right? So carbon, once it is forming the product, it is getting converted to what? Carbon monoxide, that is CO, right? So here you can see zinc oxide has changed to zinc. How it has changed? It removed its electron, right? So or it loses its electron, right? So once a reaction is taking place which involves the removal of oxygen, we can call that reaction as reduction reaction, right? So in the second case, what you can see, carbon has changed to carbon monoxide. How it has changed? It has gained an oxygen, right? That is gaining of oxygen has taken place. So since the reaction involves gaining of oxygen, we can call it as an oxidation reaction. Okay, so from this one it is clear that zinc oxide is getting reduced to zinc and carbon is getting reduced to what? Carbon monoxide. Got it? So whenever a question is asked regarding oxidation and reduction or identifying which is getting oxidized, reduced, oxidizing agent and reducing agent, first thing that you have to do is write down the reactants. Now you have to see reactants will be getting converted into product, right? So during the product formation, what is the change which has taken place? So here zinc oxide has changed to zinc. So you can write it down like this only and you can mention which is oxidation and which is reduction. So as for the question, that is substance which is getting oxidized is what? Carbon, right? Carbon is oxidized to carbon monoxide and which is getting reduced is zinc oxide. Zinc oxide has reduced to zinc. Okay. So now tell me which is an oxidizing agent and which is a reducing agent? So the substance which undergo reduction, that is zinc oxide is getting reduced, right? So this zinc oxide is our oxidizing agent. So whichever the compound which is getting reduced, that will be acting as an oxidizing agent, and here carbon is getting oxidized, right? So carbon will be acting as a reducing agent. Hope this question is clear to you. Now let's move to the second question. So this equation is already given in your textbook itself. That is, you have to balance the chemical equation. Okay, chemical equation is PbNO3 twice plus Ki gives PbI2 plus KNO3. So during balancing, what you have to see? You have to see the reactants and products number. So let's count. Okay, Pb. Here 1 Pb is here. In the product side also 1 Pb. So let us balance, right? Now you can see NO3. So you just take NO3 has one single molecule. So here in case of reactant there are 2 NO3, whereas in case of product we have only one NO3, right? So you have to make it 2. So how you have to make? So you will be putting 2 in front of K, right? Okay, so what change it has been? That 2KNO3. So the number of potassium has changed. So now you just see in the product side you have 2 potassium, whereas in the reactant side you have only 1 potassium. So you have to make it 2. How you will make it 2? Yes, you have to put 2 in the front, right? So this is the balanced chemical equation for this reaction. PbNO3 twice plus 2Ki gives PbI2 plus 2KNO3. So once you are done with the balancing, you have to check it once. Okay. So Pb, here 1 Pb, here also 1 Pb. Pb is balanced. NO3 you can take it as a single molecule. Here 2 NO3 is there. Here also, since we have put 2 in the front, this 2 is common for all. So this 2 NO3, 2 Ki is here, 2 K is here, 2I is here, and also here also 2I. So this equation is balanced. Okay. Hope this is clear to you. Now next question. Give one example each of electrolytic decomposition and decomposition by sunlight. So electrolytic decomposition, the example of electrolytic decomposition that we have studied is what? Electrolysis of water, right? So remember what and all point you have to remember from this part is, first is during the electrolysis of water we are adding some acid to water. The reason is to increase the conductivity of water. Okay. Second thing is, what are the gases which is produced? Hydrogen gas as well as oxygen gas. Clear? Now which gas will be collected in the more volume? Yes, hydrogen gas will be collected in more volume when compared to that of oxygen gas. That is, volume of hydrogen gases twice as that of the oxygen gas. Okay, so now next is decomposition by sunlight. So decomposition by sunlight. So the answer for the first question is electrolysis of water to produce hydrogen and oxygen. So answer for the second one is decomposition by sunlight. So you have two compounds that will be undergoing decomposition, that is silver chloride AgCl as well as silver bromide. Okay, so when both of these compounds are kept in the presence of sunlight, we can see AgCl is white in color whereas AgBr is yellow in color. So once we keep them in the sunlight, it will be undergoing decomposition and the product that we are going to get is a silver colored product is formed, or grey colored product is formed. That grey colored product is nothing but due to the formation of silver. Along with that, if it is AgCl, chlorine gas will be liberated, and if it is AgBr, bromine gas will be liberated. Okay, so here when AgCl is kept in sunlight, we will be getting the product as Ag plus Cl2 gas. When it is AgBr, when kept in sunlight, we will be getting Ag plus bromine gas. Okay, so the color change here is AgCl is white in color, it has changed to grey color. AgBr is yellow in color and it has changed to grey in color. Okay, so hope all these three questions are very much clear for you. So let's move to the next question. Which of the following are combination reaction? Okay, so what you have to remember the definition for the combination reaction. So in combination reaction, what is happening? Two combine, right? Combine means two or more reactants will be combining and we will be getting a single product. That is, it is of like this, right? A plus B, these are the reactants which will be combining and we will be getting the product, a single product C. Now you just compare all these equations which is given. So first equation is 2KClO3 gives 2KCl plus 3O2. This is not a combination reaction. Why? We are taking single reactant. This single reactant is giving two or more product. Okay, so this is not combination reaction. Instead, it is a decomposition reaction. So this option is wrong. Now you have to see the second option. In second option, what it is given? MgO plus H2O gives MgOH twice. So you just see here, we have taken two reactants and the product is a single product. So you can call this as a combination reaction because combining of two reactants to form a single product has taken place here. Now, in the third equation also, you just see aluminium is combining with oxygen and it is forming aluminium oxide. So, here also two reactants combine to form single product. So, it can be called as a combination reaction. Now, you just see last option. Zinc combines with ferrous sulfate and it is forming zinc sulfate and iron. So here you just see zinc will be displacing iron, right? So in the place of iron we got zinc sulfate plus free iron we got. That is, it is an example of single displacement reaction. So the correct option for our question is 2 and 3, that is option D is the correct answer. Hope this is clear to you. So let's move to the next question. When ferrous sulfate crystals are heated in a test tube, we observe that a colorless gas with snow smell is evolved. So you have to, so option is a colorless gas with no smell is evolved, a brown gas is evolved, the green color of the salt fades and gas with the burning smell of sulfur is evolved, green color of the salt fades and no gas is evolved. So this is regarding the decomposition of ferrous sulfate. So we know ferrous sulfate, FeSO4. Okay, ferrous sulfate, once it is heated, it will be undergoing decomposition. So the color of the ferrous sulfate is green in color, right? So this green color ferrous sulfate, once it is heated, it will be forming what? Ferric oxide, right? Fe2O3. This is somewhat brown in color. Along with that, two gases, that is SO2, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide gases produced. So this two gas is having the smell of the burning sulfur. So our correct option is option C. The green color of the salt fades and gas with the smell of burning sulfur is evolved. So whenever ferrous sulfate crystal is heated, which is green in color, it will be changing its color. Along with that, what we can see, there is a characteristic odor of burning sulfur. Why that odor is coming? It is because of the production of two gases, that is sulfur dioxide gas as well as sulfur trioxide gas. Hope this question is also clear to you. Let's move to the next question. In the following equation, the equation is given to you. You have to find x and y. That is, what you have to do this in this question is, you have to balance the equation. Okay. So you just see Ki, potassium iodide, H2O2 gives I2 plus KOH. Now first what you have to do for balancing, you just count the number of atoms on the both sides. Okay, so potassium is there. So reactant side and product side, let's count. So in reactant side you can see one potassium is here. In the product side also you can see one potassium. Okay, now iodine, right? Iodine. In the product side one iodine is here, and in the reactant side one iodine is here, and in the product side you have two iodine. So it is not balanced. So what you have to do, you have to make this 1 iodine 2. So how you will make? You will be putting 2 in the front, right? So you will be putting like this, 2Ki plus H2O2 gives I2 plus KOH, right? So now you just see we have put 2 in front of Ki. So this 2 is common for both potassium and iodine, right? So you have 2 iodine over here and also you have 2 potassium over here. Now you just see in the product side you have only 1 potassium, right? So you have to make it 2. So how you will make? You will be putting 2 in the front. Okay, so this 2 is common for both potassium as well as OH. So you can see now in this equation you have 2 potassium, you have 2 oxygen and you have 2 hydrogen. So now just see in the reactant side also you have 2 hydrogen, 2 oxygen, you have 2 potassium, here also 2 potassium, you have 2 iodine, you have 2 iodine. So what is X and Y here? X we got it as 2, right? Y also we got it as 2. So the correct option is option A, 2, 2. Hope this question is clear to you. Let's move to the next question. So the same question we have discussed just now, that is 2 gram of green colored crystals of ferrous sulfate crystals are heated in a dry boiling tube. Name the type of chemical reaction taking place. Write the balanced chemical equation. Is this an exothermic or an endothermic reaction? So the reaction part is familiar to you, that is ferrous sulfate FeSO4. When it is heated, we will be getting what? Fe2O3 ferric oxide plus SO2 gas, along with that SO3 gas is produced, right? So here you can see a single reactant we have taken, and this single reactant is decomposing or it is dividing, or it will be undergoing reaction and it will be producing 2 or more product. So single reactant giving 2 or more product. So we can call this reaction as decomposition reaction. Okay, you can call this reaction as decomposition reaction. Now one more question which is asked from the last part is this reaction exothermic or endothermic? So you just see here we are heating ferrous sulfate, that is we are providing heat, right? So what happens here? We are providing heat. As a result, FeSO4 will absorb that heat and the chemical reaction will be taking place, right? So this reaction takes place by the absorption of heat energy. So once the heat energy is absorbed and a reaction is taking place, we can call it as what? Endothermic. So this reaction is an example of endothermic reaction. Now what is exothermic reaction? Whenever a reaction is taking place and if it leads to the liberation of heat, or if heat is released along with the product, we can call it as an exothermic. But here heat is absorbed and the reaction is taking place. So it can be an example of what? Endothermic reaction. Hope this is clear to you. Let's move to the next question. The volume ratio of hydrogen and oxygen gases liberated during the electrolysis of water. So we have discussed this question also. So whenever we are doing electrolysis of water, what happens here is you just see this equation. H2O will be giving what? Hydrogen plus oxygen gas. Okay. So if you are trying to balance this one, you can see 2 hydrogen over here, 2 hydrogen. Hydrogen is balanced. but here one oxygen, but here two oxygen, so you have to make it two. How you will do? You will be putting two in front, right? So this 2 is common for hydrogen and oxygen. Now you just see 2H2 means 2 into 2. You have 4 hydrogen, but here you have only 2 hydrogen. So you have to make it 4. So what you will do? You will be putting 2 in the front, right? So you can see 2 hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen, that is hydrogen and oxygen are in the ratio 2:1. Okay, so the volume of hydrogen collected will be twice as that of the oxygen gas. So the correct option is 2:1 ratio. Hope this question is clear to you. Let's move to the next question. So you just see the equation is given. The above reaction is an example of. So this C6H12O6, this is nothing but glucose, right? Glucose is reacting with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide as well as water along with the liberation of energy. So this reaction we have already studied. This reaction represents what? Cellular respiration, right? It is, this reaction represents the cellular respiration. Cellular respiration. So we have seen cellular respiration or respiration is an example of exothermic reaction. Why? Because during this process energy is released, which this energy is utilized by we human beings for doing the work, right? So since energy is released during this reaction, we can call it as an exothermic reaction. So the correct answer for this is exothermic reaction. Clear? So hope this question is also clear to you. Let's move to the next question. Account for the following. White silver chloride turns grey when exposed to sunlight. This question we have already discussed. So silver chloride AgCl, once we are keeping it in presence of light, we will be getting what? Silver Ag plus chlorine gas will be liberated. So since there is a formation of silver here, the color has changed from white to grey. Okay. Now the second question, lead nitrate on heating releases brown fumes. So this is also because lead nitrate, once it is heated, it will be releasing a brown fumes. That brown fumes is due to the formation of nitrogen dioxide gas. Okay, that is this one, PbNO3 twice. Once it is heated, it will be undergoing decomposition and it will be forming lead iodide plus NO2 gas will be produced as well as oxygen gas will be produced. Since nitrogen dioxide gas is produced here, this nitrogen dioxide gas is a brown fume which is evolved out. Okay. Now next is bags of oil and fat containing food item are flushed with nitrogen gas. So why we are flushing with nitrogen gases? In order to prevent rancidity. So rancidity means what happens is the food item which contained fats and oil, once we kept it open, it will be undergoing oxidation by reacting with the air. Okay, so as a result, its smell as well as taste will change. This process is called rancidity. So whenever if you are buying packets, you can see that packet is filled with the gas, right? So that gas is nitrogen gas. So why we are filling that is this nitrogen gas will prevent our chips or food item coming in contact with the oxygen gas. As a result, it will be preventing oxidation. So that is why we are doing this. Okay. So hope all the questions that we have discussed in this video is very clear to you. So if you're watching my video for the first time, please subscribe to my channel. Try to share these videos with all your friends so that they will also get to know about these questions as well as answer. So that's all for today's video. Thank you so much everyone for watching my video, and also if you have any doubt, just drop your doubt in your comment box. I will be answering to all your doubts. That's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.